don't know how well you can see that, but it's that's kind of whitish, a bit whitish from the. It's a little bit of blushing, and from the other side you can see there's some blushing as well. But you can see where the actual dope was on the inside, and you can see that it's all adhered really well to the tissue on the outside. So this is actually done really well. So I'm going to cut off the tissue. I'm just using a single edge razor blade for this. Indoor guys will know this very well because they use this all the time, but this is really good for cutting tissue. Normally, I gotta say, I normally do this in a little bit different conditions. I'm usually sitting down at my kitchen table and doing this at my leisure. Now that will need another coat of dope, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm actually going to cover the top first before I do both. So I'm going to move this off to the side for a second. Thank you. I have this other kind of mediocre piece of tissue, but it'll work perfect for what we're doing here. It's got some markings on it, so let's just kind of work around that. Thank you again, sir. And here, I will go ahead and I'll put this so that it is one side down. So it's the shiny side is up and the dull side is down. And again, I'm going to spray both. It should be wet enough, actually. Oops, didn't get that aligned. Oh. So feel free, if it's not wet enough for whatever reason, go ahead and spray through the tissue if you need to. It actually works fairly well. At least on a sake tissue it does. Some of the other tissues it does not work very well. I only do this with Asaki or the new tissue that's coming out of Japan, the Asukawashi. That actually works really well for tissue over Mylar as well. But none of the domestic tissues, I don't use them for any of this because they just fall apart. They're all made out of wood pulp instead of a baka like this is made out of. And it looks okay. I'm just going to cut this off a little bit on the ends. And again, it's around 25% dope. Get my nice brush nice and wet. And again, I go around the outside first. pretty heavy since this is about only 25%. It's mostly thinner, so there's not really as much dope here as you might expect. Sorry, Dave, got some on your table. Now, again, let that flash off for a couple of seconds. And I will bring this back up. Put this back into the acetone, and here I'm going to put this back on. And again, just enough to kind of hold it down. So I use the magnets, and these are just put in such a place that it just barely holds it together. Oops, that one is not all the way under. Again, let that sit for about 15 minutes. Then we can trim and do the second coat.